You are listening to the podcast To Be Single or Not to Be by Shanna Montana, a podcast where we talk about the single life, dating, and relationships so you can make a decision at the end of each episode to be single or not to be. So today's topic is love is blind. Or what do we say? Love is blind.
Love is conveniently blind.
Love is conveniently blind. So today's topic is more so, is love blind or is love conveniently blind? And we are basing this episode on the Netflix reality show, Love is Blind. So if you're listening and you have not seen the show, make sure you tune in. It's 9, 10 episodes?
11.
The
finale.
Okay, so including the reunion?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the reunion.
So it's 10 episodes, then it's the reunion. It's worth it. We're going to dive into it. So even if you haven't watched it, well, if you haven't watched it, you're going to get some spoilers. I want to say that up front. But if you have watched it, feel free to leave a voice comment on Anchor if you have some feedback to give, or you can leave comments on Instagram because, of course, we'll be posting there about it. But we wanted to bring in some individuals who have watched the show, who have dived in. We've had plenty of group me conversations around this show and just wanted to talk about it because in this day and age, you know, people will almost do anything for a husband.
Sure will.
If you are willing to go to a show and get proposed to sight unseen, I think that's anything. So in the building, we have Miss Nickelberry, who has not been in here for a while.
Yes, I'm back. Hey,
All
y'all.
right. And we have Miss Nikisha. Say hi.
What's up, y'all?
So I want to give a little bit of a premise about the show. So the show is based around couples who initially, well, it starts out with girls and guys. And they have to go into these individual pods, which are like rooms, and they have to go on blind dates. So the only thing they have to go off of is each other's voices. So the point is to basically get to know somebody sight unseen. And they go through a series of questions, series of dates, basically. Mm-hmm. And you get to decide, you know, of course, who you're liking, who you're feeling, and who you're not feeling. And so the show lands with about 4 couples. It starts out with 5. One of them doesn't make it. So it lands with 4 couples. And from there, the only way that you get to see your partner is if someone proposes and they accept the proposal. And then after the proposal is accepted, they get to see each other. And then from there, they go on a journey to eventually wind up at the going down the aisle to determine if they're going to be married or not. So some couples get married and some don't. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But just for starters, we're going to go ahead and dive into the meat of it. So do you guys think it's true that if a woman is into you, or if you all are into somebody, because we're all women, mm-hmm. She'll know right at first sight whether or not she will be sexually active? Ooh,
yes.
Yes. I'm going to jump in right there.
Yes. Absolutely. I don't care if you're the prudest woman ever.
Yeah.
You know at first sight if he can get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even if he's going to wait 3 years to get it, you know that it's possible. And sometimes if he do the right thing, he can get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
But you know if he can get it. And I think it was a telltale during the show where you could kind of see the future immediately when people are engaged. You're my fiance, and I'm like, well, you know, I'm still trying to figure it out. Like,
I'm not sure. Nah, that ain't it, boo.
Yeah,
that ain't it. Yeah. That ain't it. Because I think my thing is with guys that I think I'm interested in, or guys like me. I always look at them and say, like, are you somebody I could kiss? So I look at you, I look at your lips, I look at things like that.
Absolutely.
Teeth, yeah, because the hygiene is a lot. You know, you got shit in between your teeth, you know. So I think that for me, if you are somebody that I can kiss, that says a lot. If I don't think that I can kiss you, I definitely know I can't have sex with you.
That is correct.
And that tells me that we really don't have anything. You know, not that sex is everything, but it's a part of it. It's a part of that whole physical chemistry. Mm-hmm. You have to have it.
And it's mental.
Show, it's definitely mental. Because it starts there because you're looking at them, you're thinking, even though you may not wind up with this person, you still think down the road. Would I be able to kiss this person over time? Would I be able to have sex with this person over time? And if you can't do it, then that's not it. And on the show, we find that it was the couples of, was it Kelly and Kenny? And then, of course, Jessica and Mark, where they weren't having sex. And Kelly and Kenny, I think it was more so Kelly that was like, I want to wait. I want to see how it goes. I'm not sure. So they were just, cuddling. At least she did kiss him. She was, I think she started out that way.
Kissing and spooning.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like some teenagers.
Yeah. He was waiting just because out of respect for her.
Yeah.
But honestly, he said that, I know how I feel about the situation. Basically, he trying to get down.
Yeah, immediately.
Because he loves her.
Yeah.
But she's real standoffish with it.
She only loved him allegedly.
Allegedly.
Just a little bit.
And it's just like Jessica and Mark. They weren't doing anything. Even though one of the scenes where one of the girls asked, I think, how the sex was, she's like, it's great. I'm like, I wonder if they really ever even have sex.
They said later on in the season that they ended up having it, like it just naturally happened.
Probably
but
one
she
time.
probably was drunk.
Yes.
On
that wine. On her favorite. So I absolutely agree. You have to. I think women, we know. So men that's listening, we know. If girl holding out.
Even if you're a stranger, you walk and see a fine man, you're like, man, he can get
it.
I don't even know what you sound like right now. You talk to me and sound like Mike Tyson. I'm like, well, maybe not.
Keep your mouth closed.
Right, maybe not. And there is a time where you can get it and mess it up.
Yeah.
But we still know at that first sight
that you can
get it.
So, do you guys think that the Love is Blind, in regards to the Love is Blind experiment, was it successful after the participants met because they had picked fairly attractive people? So, was it the attraction of these people being nice looking that made it be more successful than as successful as it was?
Absolutely. I think it is. I think that they... Granted,
it was a setup.
When you look at the full cast of people, it was some people in there that I was just like,
Yeah, but only like 5% out of everybody.
Out of all of them, but
overall,
for the most part,
they looked pretty.
They all looked pretty good, but you didn't have anyone that was a plus size girl. You didn't have a guy that was a stocky man.
Yeah,
it was or bald headed.
Everybody had the teeth in the mouth.
Still probably win.
It might have been messed up, but
for the most part, it didn't have a full overview of all the different types of people and personalities that you can run into. So I think it did make it easy when you meet that person and you're like, okay, they're fairly attractive. Yeah. I can do this.
Absolutely.
But would they still have that? Would Cameron still have that same feel for Lauren had Lauren been plus size?
Nope.
Absolutely
you
not.
can't tell me that he would have or any of them. And that's something I noticed immediately with watching the show when they first showed all the girls and the guys in their own little areas. I'm like, everybody for the most part is nice looking.
Yeah.
I'm like, so everybody's going to start out on a good foot because most likely somebody's going to wind up with someone that's attractive. It was like, had they thrown in some people that were not so attractive, then that might have made it interesting. Because if you've built this connection with somebody that you couldn't see, because you think that's a huge part of it, I can't see you, so I run the risk of you not being my type, you not looking like what I want, and then when I come around this corner and you looking like a dinosaur, am I still, I love you, or am I going to turn around and be like, nah.
And they're going to turn around.
This ain't it.
Because, again, love is conveniently blind. It was convenient when it was in the pod. But if I come out and I see somebody and you're not what I imagined in my head, a la Jessica, then I'm going to be like, ooh, I like when we were in the pods, but
but she did that exact same thing.
I can't get with this. Or if you come out and you got the little buildup of white stuff on the side of your mouth, but I couldn't see that in the pod, that's going to be like, I'm like, that's a deal breaker. Right. And that sounds petty, but it ain't.
Or you come out and you missing your front too.
Yeah,
you looking like
or you got a gold tooth.
Open face.
Right. No. And I mean, granted, people might hear that and be like, that's cosmetic, they can change it. But what man changing their gold tooth? They can
open face.
Right, open face.
That nigga had that 40, yeah, 40 years.
They're like, no, I'm gonna keep you. You need to love me for me.
And even with even though Cameron and Lauren being an interracial couple, and I think that, the way that Lauren looked, say she had came around looking like Angela Davis with the fro and the whatever, sometimes white men do go for that. But say if she was a super, what we would consider a super Afrocentric sister.
Right.
Yeah.
Would he have been going for that? Or would Carlton have been going for that in Diamond? I think more so. Cameron might have, but I think Carlton wouldn't have went for that.
Absolutely not.
I think cosmetically, Netflix, I think they set it up because they were like, okay, it's an experiment, but we want to make it an experiment where everybody at least has a chance.
Yeah.
And try to make it as successful as possible.
Because
we put money into this.
Exactly.
We built y'all all your
Because
own
if everybody
pods.
come around this corner and make a U-turn, then the experiment is over.
Exactly.
So. And
they said that there were 2 other couples that actually did get engaged. I don't think they're together now, or at least one of them isn't. And one of it was the guy named Rory, who I thought was a producer. He was the one giving a lot of the advice
to the males,
to the men. Yeah. And he said that he found someone, but they told him, like, sorry guys, we're not going to be able to cover your story. And when you look at Rory, he wasn't he wasn't,
in comparison
up
to
to
the
par
other guys,
to everybody else
to
that they
other
did
ones.
choose to keep on the show. So I think it has a lot to do with it. And I would hope for a season 2, like we can really see if Love is Blind.
Yeah.
When you put a real set of people in there that reflect everyday lives, everyday people, in everyday shapes, sizes, colors, and all
heights,
that
all
stuff.
that.
Yeah.
I think they really need to get a mix, a good variety.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the ugly. Put it that way.
Pretty much.
For season 2. So do y'all think if your family, because on the show, guys, this was a huge part, you're meeting somebody sight unseen, you don't know what their background is, where they come from, things of that nature. So would you say if your family is not on board with your fiance, would you still get married?
Yes.
What would you do, Nikisha?
Not on board, like what?
Like they ain't fucking
like
with
at
it.
all.
Yeah, they're like, I'm not good with
They like when Barnett took Amber home, and they all was like kind of looking into the abyss.
Right, and she got that crazy laugh, and they're like,
I mean, if I was him in his shoes, I probably would have had second thoughts about her. Because, but your family.
This is true.
So, like, you already know from the get-go, like, oh, they ain't gonna fuck with this man.
Yeah.
They ain't fucking with him.
Yeah.
Like, either you can't bring him around, or, like, for me, I'm very, like, independent with my own thinking. Like, I will take the advice of family, like, okay, cool, but, this is still my life. I gotta play it out. So, I probably would still be with that person. Yeah. Because, I mean, if we did this whole pod situation and y'all meeting him after we done already probably like 10 fights by this point, then
we'd have been through some things.
And
I think ultimately if you're going to get married, that you are creating your own family anyway. You have your family of origin, and then you have the new family you're creating. So, it's like ultimately, I'll hear what my family has to say and see what validity there is behind it. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, if at this point in my life, I think I'm able to make a sound decision to say I want to be with this person for the right reasons. And if, unless there is something like domestic violence or something more serious going on in somebody opposed, other than, I just don't think he your type, or he don't make enough money, or some superficial things. Yeah. A lot of times it's where family will come from.
Yep.
So outside of that, I'm like, no, I'm willing to walk down the aisle, and I would hope that, I think those people that want to support me will come, and those are the people I want there. And I hate when I dislike when people have weddings and they're like, well, his mom is gonna come, but she don't like me. I don't want anybody in the room
need to be there
that does not support or like me. Yeah,
because at this point in life, like, we've all had experience, like good, bad, questionable, but you know yourself enough to trust your judgment. Right. So your family can have comments or opinions about whatever the relationship is, but at the end of the day, you need to have full confidence in your own judgment. And if you don't, then that's when you start leaning too much on the outside. Yeah,
and you probably shouldn't get married anyway.
Absolutely.
If you got to lean that hard on somebody else other than your mate, then you probably shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
And I feel like if your family really loves you and they respect you and they know you, that even if you disagree with what I'm doing, support it anyway. I don't like it, but I love it. And I mean, I love what you love. If that's what you want to do, fine.
Right.
And kind of like what Lauren's dad says, I'm only going to judge you by how you treat my daughter.
Absolutely.
How you treat this person.
Like, he wasn't for sure about Cameron. He's like, I'm not about to sit up there and give you no pass because
I don't know you.
I don't know you.
But I'm going to judge you based off of how you treat her. Her happiness is how I see you. If she's upset with you, I'm upset with you.
If she's happy,
I'm happy.
And that was fair.
And it was very fair.
Absolutely.
I think when you get to a certain age and maturity that you are that way, because I think when you're younger and kind of immature, you tend to look at things, say from the outside looking in, and you want to be about you. I don't like him because of XYZ, when it really isn't connected to me. But I think once you reach a certain age or a level of maturity, you're able to say, okay, I know that he's not putting his hands on you. I know that you appear to be happy, and if you're happy, I'm happy, and I'm going to go with it until you tell me to do otherwise. Because one, we don't have the energy to exert on the bullshit. I'm not marrying him. I don't gotta look at him every day.
Exactly.
And
if I'm wrong, then that's my lesson to learn. You can't try to shield me from life.
Not at all.
At all. I mean, we're meant to experience it, and sometimes people come into your life to experience them, and for you to learn a lesson sometimes.
Exactly.
And sometimes those lessons are hard lessons.
Exactly.
And sometimes they aren't.
And it's like it's almost like a boundary. Like, I don't have enough energy to exert on somebody else's life to worry enough about who you marrying or not.
And how
like,
you doing it?
Yeah, he put his hands on you. Nah, yeah, good. Okay, let's do it. Like,
Right. What is the date?
I'm definitely not. That's the other part of it. Like, I don't have the energy nor the time to really lose sleep over what you have going on if it's nothing that's, extensive happening there. So, at this point, let's move into some of the couples and talk about our first and our favorite our first and the worst.
Least favorite.
Worst. Motherfuckers never loved us. Look, Mark and Jessica. Ba-dum-bum. Boo.
Boo to Jessica.
Right. Yeah.
Boo
to Jessica.
Mark was a naive angel.
Yeah, he was young and
dumb.
The
eyes of Jesus.
Young and dumb. So, just to give a little bit of background, we said it is spoilers. Mark was 24 and Jessica was 34. And Jessica, allegedly. And she tried to make it more so about like the age and her maturity level and things like that. But in reality, Jessica was still in love with Barnett, who is married to somebody else we'll talk about later. So starting out, do you think that when it comes to, in regards to the experiment or in life, period, does age really matter?
No. As
explain.
long as you are not like 18 trying to get with a 34-year-old. No, like, I feel like you should be at a certain point in your adulthood before you decide that you're going to take that age gap.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I do think that
so when you say a certain point in your adulthood, what do you mean?
I would say when you're able to make sound decisions for yourself that are not superficial, that are kind of looking more towards the future, when you're asking questions on, like, what do we both want? And based off of what we both want, do we define it the same?
Right.
When you have that kind of emotional intelligence to kind of go into a relationship. Now, that's not to say that somebody 24 would not have it, but I think that Mark still showed his youth in how he was a bit naive with Jessica.
Yeah.
I feel like part of that was age.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't think that just because that was his thing that another 24 and 34-year-old wouldn't be successful.
Yeah,
at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's on an individual basis. But I think a lot of people look at age and they're like, oh my God, or oh, he's 17 years older than you. Like, but you don't know how that dynamic flows. You don't know how happy those two people are. I've seen people who have a 20-year age gap and they have the best relationship because it's two different dynamics coming into play that just happen to balance itself out.
Exactly.
So,
and men mature slower anyway. So I think sometimes it helps if you are, say, if you're 30 and he's 45.
Right. He about 28.
Yeah, so y'all about the same age. Y'all about the same age anyway. And I think, like you said, I think that him being naive kind of got him in this instance. But it all comes down to the level of maturity because we all meet people, and as we like to say, you have an old soul. If you're somebody that's young, you act more mature, you act older. So I think the age matters in the sense of just recognizing where people are mentally with their age. Because
my previous relationship before my current, like, we were 7 years apart. He was 7 years younger than me. And I realized at a certain point where the gap made a difference. So,
where was that?
When we first started dating, it didn't because, although we had things going, I guess, in not two different directions, but at different points in life,
right?
We still had a lot of things that we connected on. But and this is when we're both he entered college, I was out of college, so. He got into the we all went through college before, so you get through the different changes that you go through when you're matriculating, and he's in that I'm changing points. Either I want to be in a relationship or I want to get my feet wet and see how I want to, who I want to date, how I want to date, and I'm beyond that, at that point. And so that's where we started seeing things differently. And so we just decided to part ways because you're going this way, I'm going this way.
Right, two different directions.
But the maturity level does, like you said, Courtney, plays a definite role in how those relationships work. And with this one, Jessica actually seemed the most immature.
Yeah.
Because she was so concerned about how everybody else thought your relationship looked because of that age.
But was she concerned of that, or was it just a very convenient excuse?
I mean, a very convenient excuse.
I think that's
exactly
too.
what it was.
Because I feel like mentally, Jessica really had a good head on her shoulders. When she would talk, she would make sense, and it was like, okay, Jessica.
Yeah.
Then she'll flip it on you.
Yeah.
When it comes to this, it was
because she was trying to make excuses because she didn't really want to be with him anyway.
Yeah. But you have to own your shit. And my thing is, like, when you're a mature person, you can stand in and be like, you know what? This ain't for me, or I'm not feeling this, or I have my heart somewhere else, and own that. But she did not want to take that road. She wanted to just be with somebody. Yeah. Or,
she
be successful at something, or not, didn't want to fail at X, Y, and Z. Whatever the excuse may be, it's an excuse. And so it's like, he put his shit out there. He told you from jump, like, okay, you're my person. Yeah, that's it. But you couldn't be straight up with him and be like, you know what? I don't quite know.
But remember, that naiveness came in because you remember she was with Barnett. Barnett threw her to the side. She had been talking to Mark, and then when she thought that Barnett was about to propose,
she let
Mark go and told him, you should start talking to other people. And then she comes back like, I don't know why I said that. So
and he goofily accepted her. And that's where his mistakes happened.
Yeah, that's where that came in.
Nope. He said, but the thing about this, he didn't stand in his own thing. He said, I'm not, I know my worth, but yet you allow somebody to treat you in that manner.
Less than
to be able to come in and out of your life. And people do it all the time too. Let people to come in and out of their life how they see fit,
like a revolving door, but part of the experiment. It was convenient for him too at the time because he wanted to still be included. So how would you all feel if you were like Jessica, the breadwinner in a relationship, and your significant other was in the beginning stages of their career? Because on here, Mark's 24, Jessica's 34. She's established. She says she makes 6 figures, has her own home, have a dog. I live here. She made sure to say everything that she had.
Right. I make 6 figures.
Yeah, and then he had a roommate. He's 24, stayed with a roommate and the girlfriend, and they're sitting around drinking their Bud Lights. So how do you feel like as a woman if you were the breadwinner? What do you think about that?
So a part of me wants to be like, it's okay if he's determined negative. I'm beyond the point of potential.
Say that.
So for me, I have seen through experience, not something that I want to experience on my own, but I've seen through experience that with people, if they don't care to have something on their own for themselves, they're not going to care to maintain it with you.
Sure are.
That's true.
So for me, I don't care if you're making the bare minimum. I know I was able to live on my own with my first job for $10.50.
Yeah.
So if you're making the bare minimum, I'm still expecting you to have something of your own because I was able to do it. Now, granted, to be fair, that was way back in the day when rent was still $600 and stuff like that. So I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same times have completely changed. However, I still expect for you to make it work. Get 2 jobs. I know people who make $60,000 plus and have 2 jobs.
Yeah.
I make good money and have 2 jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
Simply because I like a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that I expect for you to make it work so that you have your own.
Yeah.
Whether I'm a breadwinner or not, that shows me your effort, not what you're trying to do, but what you are doing.
And how you're going to show up in the relationship.
Boom.
Yeah. And like I've been in both situations to where I made more, he's made more, whatnot. And for me, when it comes to, I never like do the numbers game to say that, he has to make more money than me. Because, some people really stuck on that. But it doesn't mean that, you're doing better because you make more money than me. No, I'm more concerned about dedication to it, the passion behind it. If you make this, live within your...
Because you have people who make a lot of money and don't have shit to show for it.
Absolutely. So, you need to live within your means, So, like, if you know that you're making $20 an hour, okay, cool. You can't expect for us to be out here balling like we making $100 an hour. Like, that's not the same thing. Like, you have to be responsible with your stuff.
Absolutely.
And you also have to have goals. Like, by next year I need to be making this much.
If somebody's making extensively more, you absolutely have to have things aligned in a certain way, in order to be successful with that.
And not be, but you also can't come to me in a way like, so you think you this because you're making more money than me.
Or you can't come to me on the tip of, I know you got it.
No, we're not doing that.
Or you borrowing money from me. I don't care if you live in the same household. You're not going to borrow money from me.
No, you got it. No. We're not living that life.
We're not doing that. You can do this and then next time I do that. No.
Yeah, you got it this time.
Sounds like we need to build up the account.
Yeah.
Let's work on that.
Right. You're not my child, I'm not yours, so we can't play that game. So I think you have to be mindful of it. Now tell us, because we know that, as we just said, Jessica liked Barnett. Barnett kind of kicked her to the curb. She had been dealing with Mark. She had told Mark, we think you should see other people. And then when she found out Barnett kicked her to the curb, she came back to Mark. And he ended up proposing to her naively. So where should someone draw the line with the quote, if you love them, let them go. And if they come back, then you'll know.
I feel like once you go, you're gone. I think there's a reason for things to be exes. Now, I do think that there's certain things in life where people can come back way later on in life when you both are aligned the same, where you're kind of like the same mentally, where you're kind of on the same path a little bit. And it has happened. It's rare when it happens, but it has happened. And I think that, I don't think somebody should be close to that thought if it were to happen. However,
you shouldn't plan for it.
You shouldn't plan for it. And to me, especially knowing the circumstances where I know she completely left to go to Barnett, and then as soon as he dropped you like a hot pocket, you came right back like, oh no, I don't know what I was thinking. He just fucked with my head so much. Oh, now you're trying to blame Barnett for fucking with your head. Barnett didn't break up with me. No. You did.
Yeah, absolutely.
So no, you only want to be with me because I'm available and I'm somebody that really wants you. And she pretty much revealed it. That said, I reacted the way that I reacted on the show and pushing up on Barnett because he rejected me, and I'm used to being rejected. So there's your answer right there, Mark. She never wanted to be with you. She liked the fact and the feeling of you wanting her. Yeah. There was never a true
Everybody wants somebody that wants you too.
Yeah. And that was that thing. So to me, especially when it's obvious like that, then no. That quote don't matter. But that's where I would say love is blind.
Yeah, and it's conveniently blind. And I think that when it comes to love and you let them go, I think it's true sometimes, because I've been in situations where we revisited things many years later when we were able to put aside any differences, any anger, any hurt, any misunderstanding. We were at a really pure place to say, let's kind of, because it's almost like you're two different people if you give it enough time. Yeah. And then at that point, you can revisit it to really see, if they come back and it works out. It hasn't worked in my favor that way. But I do think it's true that if you're able to give it enough time, and enough time is not even meaning like a year. You got to give it some real time. Yeah, because you have to come back
15.
as 10, 15 years, really. Like coming back as two newly formed people. At that point, you might have found somebody else, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
But I do think that if you go through an experience that if a person is taking you things, especially like with Jessica and Mark, Mark, if he's smart, he would never give Jessica another chance.
It was less than 24 hours.
Yeah, and
between the time that she said bye and then she comes back,
she was so
begging
weak
to come back. Yeah,
she came back and he fell.
And that's that instance where, if they leave or you let them go, let them stay, because you
go back to Barnett. Bitch.
All you did was devalue your place in the relationship. Yep. When you let that person come back just because they want to come back because you're a matter of convenience.
Yeah, you took a couple of notches off your life.
Yeah, like everything that if you come back, like you said, years later, you've had growth or whatever your issues were, you're able to grow out of it, grow through it or whatever. And, sometimes you come back and it's confirmation that we just never meant to be together.
This ain't it.
And then like you have successes where, you have those people from high school that ended up married 10 years down the line, because, it ended up working later because they matured. But everything, just because it comes back to you don't mean it's meant to be.
Yeah, that's not. And you have to take that with a grain of salt. So I think in this instance, like we said, Mark and Jessica were my least favorite couple. Yeah. Mark, nothing against him, except being naive, but Jessica, she was the worst. So make sure you guys tune into that. When she gets that wine in the system,
it's over.
She turns up. Going to the next one, the social media controversial couple, Carlton and Diamond. And this was a couple this was an African-American couple, and it was short-lived. They did not make it down. They did not even make it off of the resort because they ended up getting into a confrontation regarding Carlton's sexuality. So we're going to talk a little bit about that because it was found that Carlton said that he didn't see people, he saw souls. And when I say souls, S-O-U-L-S. And what he meant by that was that he liked men and women. He was bisexual. And he was fluid, as they call it in 2020. And he didn't feel that it was necessary to tell Diamond this up front because he felt like she would go and tell the other girls and nobody would give him a fair opportunity. So, that's his right to feel that way. But I do think that omission is lying as well.
That is
correct. So I think that in order to give anybody a fair chance to talk to you, you should have told them that up front, because give me the choice to decide if I want to deal with you or not, because I may be into that. I may be okay with it, but it's almost like even if I was okay with it, if you take my choice away, now I'm not okay with it.
Exactly.
Because you started out wrong.
And I think I was more bothered by that particular couple, not because of what he revealed to her, but again, how he revealed it.
And how he handled it.
Yes, because my thing is, if you found it in yourself that you're ready to propose to me, that's something I should know before you decide to do that.
Right.
Like, if you want me to be in love with you, to be married to you, and accepting you for you, that's you. If you want me to be that person, give me you. You're still hiding and lying and things like that. When you decide you want to marry me,
but
and he
still
performed,
sitting there lying, saying, this is my truth. Nobody ever had a problem with this except for you.
But then you just said not 2 breaths ago that you didn't reveal it to her because you've always had to deal with people saying X, Y, and Z about it. You know, and it's like you said, like, people don't understand that when they're not upfront with people in these relationships or whatever you may call them, then you're removing the choice away from that person.
Absolutely.
You know? And that's how people react off of things.
And that leads us to a great question. Is there a such thing as biphobia, or is it really just a preference?
Preference.
Okay.
I think it's preference.
So what would biphobia be? We mean just kind of
like people who fear, from what I understand, I'm not
fear
part of the community, so I could be messing this up, but
our
it's people
understanding
who fear the fact that someone who is bisexual can't pick and choose their final decision to be with either a woman or a man.
They want to be.
Right.
And to me, I think it's just preference. I mean, you could try to call it a fear, but no.
I think it's preference too.
I think it's preference, because I don't want to have like a little gathering with all my friends and you see my friends Justin, let me just name him Justin.
Yeah.
And then you like, oh, Justin.
Yeah.
You know, and you want to hang out and the guys gonna hang out, but I don't know where your thoughts are if you like looking at Justin like, oh, you know, this is my home guy, you know, that's my friend, and you know, we just hanging out. Or if you're looking at Justin like, Justin's triggering my old self, like, ooh, Justin, you know, I don't know where your mind is, and no matter how much you want to be like, oh, well, that's biphobia, no, I don't know where your mind is, and I'm not about to sit up here and have to guess it. I
don't have to.
I don't want to be concerned. Or if I'm sneak peeking and looking at a guy, because we all look, no matter if you're married or not, if you're looking you find yourself with the eye, and you see he got the eye looking, and it's like, well, hold on,
like, wait a damn minute.
I'm looking.
He mine.
You know, and granted, I know there's a double standard because people always feel like women can bounce back from being lesbians and go right back. But I mean, I think it's different. I mean, and I hate that that's the case, but at the same time, it's true, and I think it's true because, you know, when women do that, it's just like, okay, but then, you know, men, you go in somebody's whole anal canal,
it's a penetration
where you fecal matter comes out of, like, that's different, and then like never mind. Never mind. No,
but I definitely think it's a preference. So, how would you feel if you all had an amazing connection with somebody? If you had an amazing connection with a man, and he revealed that he was bisexual? I've had this conversation with people, and I think that at one point, like, I can't remember when I had this conversation. I thought about it, and I was like, well, I don't know. But then I thought about it for about 5 more seconds. I was like, no, I need for you to just like girls. I think I need for you to just be strictly, you know, I'm strictly dickly. So I need for you to still be strictly on my side.
And I think it's mental. Because if you...
Because I don't be thinking about...
like...
You with me, and before me, you was with a man.
Charles. Yeah. You know, and, you know, when you get into the whole part of being sexual, and due to the fact that women are mental beings...
We are.
And, you know, we kind of put a lot of things that we do sexually... mentally in our mind to, oh, I'm gonna do it this way and this is gonna turn me on, blah 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 blah. I'm completely turned off if I decide to give you head and I know what your dick has been. Like, I'm not gonna be able to do it, and that's just being raw and uncut. Like, when you're thinking about that, that's something that's gonna cross your mind, and that's just being honest. So while I'm not against the homosexual community, I have tons of friends.
Yeah.
And that's not to say like, oh, I got one black friend. No, like,
but we definitely, we support that.
I support the community because I have it in my family. But at the same time, I'm not going to date someone who
goes both ways.
Go both ways.
And I was talking to a gay man yesterday that said that I am a gay man, and he said I do not date bisexual men. He was like, I don't like men who like to dabble on both sides of the fence. Yeah. So that is his preference, just like it's our preference, and it doesn't take anything away from, the LGBTQIA community.
Okay.
Hold on, somebody put another letter on it to make a joke. Let me leave that alone. I heard it on Breakfast Club. I can't remember what it was, but it was hilarious. But it doesn't take anything away from that community. It's a preference. Yeah. It's just like they have preferences of what they want. We have our preferences.
Yeah.
And that's that.
And I will play another side of that. So I could understand how people in his position, or those who are fluid or bisexual, however that label is, would feel, because like you said, a gay man said that he doesn't date bisexual men, but you also have women who won't date bisexual men. And so it kind of leaves them at a standstill, like, okay, so what do we do? Yeah. Because you're getting it from both sides. However, that doesn't say that everybody in either of those communities does not. Yeah. But it's key to put that there if that's where you're taking your relationship.
Right.
Because
and go find those people.
Absolutely. Because
they exist.
They do. And I'm like, no, your sexuality is not everything that you are as a person. If you're at that point in a relationship, then that comes into play. It is important, and so you have to put that out there. Because me, myself, when I think of it, it's preference for me.
Yeah.
But I'm not thinking of the thought of who you're looking at versus me. I'm thinking of the thought of, for me, I like people to be solid in what you're doing, how you're navigating. And if I don't know if you're solid and you wanting to have that connection with me as a woman,
right,
then
everything
that makes me uneasy in our relationship.
And I also think about like something you just mentioned as far as paying attention. So when I'm out, if I'm with my guy, not that I'm watching him to see who he's looking at,
right?
But you're
just having to catch him.
You're aware of when other women are around,
Absolutely.
and more so you're aware of another woman flirting with your man.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to be in a position where I got to be worried about the men and the women, and to be worried about. Is he flirting with this nigga?
And that's what I was saying. Like, if I'm looking and then I catch you looking, and it's just like, well, wait a minute. We both can't look at the same guy.
It's what we not.
We're not that. We're not girlfriends.
No, not at all. So I think that, if you had an amazing connection and the guy revealed that he was bisexual, do you let him go?
Yeah.
What's your vote?
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah.
Yeah, I told you.
It's just my preference.
I wavered, but I was like, I gotta let that go. But you all, I think it's episode 5 on the show where Diamond and Carlton have their huge blow up about this. One scene, when he initially told her she was trying to be supportive, then the next day she slept on it. She had very valid questions.
Absolutely.
And I just want to say, like we talked about, we think she did a really great job at handling him.
Absolutely.
Because the way she navigated it, even when he, called her out of her name and got super disrespectful and showed his narcissistic and gaslighting ways, she still stood firm in who she was. When, I said I would have tried to drown him, it would have went completely left. The show probably would have been canceled, taken off Netflix when we got done. So hats off to Diamond for handling him the way that she did.
Yes.
So going to Damien and Giannina, Gigi, we'll call her. They were the most interesting couple. Very interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, because she was, I think he was 27, 28, she was 25, but she was very immature. Like, she acted her
definitely.
age. So, one thing they had going on, you could tell she was very much from the beginning, like she wanted to jump his bones right away. I ain't mad at the sister. So, she got right to it. And so they had like a scene where they were in 2 different rooms. And what did she say to him?
She was just like, do you ever wonder why, and I'm paraphrasing, do you ever wonder why I never say that this is the best sex I've ever had?
After you say it or something like that?
And
she was like, do you notice that when you tell me this is the best sex you ever had, I never say it back?
Yeah, there we go.
And the world stopped.
Like when I say stopped like everything.
Mouth drop. Yeah, so it's like she was bold to say that. So one thing that stood out, how do you all feel about that scene? Like, he was really He just kept the conversation going. Like, he entertained that.
I think he handled it maturely.
Okay.
Because that scene happened because they were having an argument, per usual.
Yeah.
And she was saying that they don't communicate. And so the only way that she would communicate was that she was in a separate room.
Okay.
And you did that to take a dig at him.
Yeah.
And he could have fired back. He did tell you that was one time.
Yeah.
And you were trying to, like, the way she came at him was just to test how
because she was insinuating his sex was trash.
Yes, basically she's saying how she's more into the sex with him versus him into her.
Sex with her.
And that she's always the one initiated, which, I mean, of course she wanted to climb on top of his head the first time she saw him. But that doesn't mean that he wasn't sexually into you. You just don't get a chance. The man could come in the door and you're on him.
Make his knees
so it's
touch
like
your elbow.
the fact that he didn't, cuss her out, because I probably would slap the shit out of her. Personally.
Windmill.
Because you're not going to come talking to me crazy like that. But he handled it appropriately because of how he cared about her. Because he was just like, fucking her, it would have been a totally different conversation. That love
definitely was convenient right then. They say, and our bishop talked about this, I don't know if it was appropriate to say it on here, but he talked about sometimes it's things that you don't do or say because of the love you have in your heart. Because it's like, if I ain't love you, I would have whooped your ass.
Exactly.
And it stops you from doing something.
It sure does.
Otherwise, if it was no love there, it would have went left. So, do you all think it's important for a man to initiate sex, even if you have no problem doing so?
Yes.
I do.
I think that women want to feel wanted.
Yes.
Yep.
And I think that on the flip side, women have made it very easy for men to not have to initiate sex because they're freely doing it or giving it up.
Yeah.
Instead of requiring that a man learns how to stimulate her body and her mind and her spirit and whatever else she would like stimulated. And for me, I don't mind initiating it at all. However, I want you to initiate it too. Don't just wait for me to do it. And I mean, granted, men are probably like, well, where y'all at? Because I've heard, I've heard, men be like, man, sometimes we want y'all to initiate sex. It's just like, well, where you at?
Right. Sometimes, but majority of the time, it needs to be them.
Yeah, it needs to be the guy that initiates the sex, because again, women want to feel wanted. And even if you're not somebody that cares to feel validated, when it comes to your husband, your fiance, somebody you're spending the rest of your life with, you want to feel wanted.
Yeah,
whether it's the first year or the 15
you the head of this bedroom.
What you said?
Okay.
Come take it.
Yeah, I absolutely think that if it's a 1 to 10 ratio, that men need to take the lead. Now, I'm not saying that, I heard this on the documentary Black Love. A girl said she doesn't like to go more than 3 days without sex. She'll realize because they were busy. And she was like, you agree with that rule?
I absolutely
Yeah, and I like that. She said, so it'd be like Monday, Tuesday. She's like, oh, okay, it's Wednesday. I need to, And it made sense. She was like, because I want to be up for my partner. So I'm saying that to say, even though you may initiate, if I realize it's been 2 days since we had sex, I'm going to make sure, I take a shower. I'm looking good. I'm ready for you. I'm primed up.
Right.
You want to go ahead and do it.
So,
like, yeah, she look good today.
But I'm making it where you want to do it. So I'm doing my part too. So I think that men need to recognize that. And I mean, we have our days and our moments as women where we decide, like, I'm going to walk up and be the aggressor, and that's cool. But no, I think in whether it be a gender role, society, whatever you want to call it, I want my man to initiate sex more than I do.
And it definitely is twofold. It definitely is for the men to realize that that is something that we desire. We do like to be wanted. We do like for you to, like you said, take charge, but we have to allow them to do that as well.
Yeah.
And in their case with Damien and Gigi, she didn't even allow him to get to that point.
Yeah.
So like we have to allow them to do it, because I have zero problem with initiating it.
Yeah.
If I know I want it, I mean, I'm probably not even asking you if you do.
Right.
I do. I mean, you got to tell me that once I'm there.
Right. Like,
you better
stop.
me.
Stop. This is not consensual right now.
But at the same time, it's like, again, it's a different feeling. And like you said, we're mental. So like, if you're coming at me, you're wanting me, you're showing that you desire me, again, that's emotional, that's mental stimulation. And I need you to step up and do that.
Yeah.
Point blank to period.
I agree. So, they were saying this was a couple guys that when they got to the altar, Gigi said yes, and Damien said, I don't. So a lot of people are giving Damien flack for choosing not to marry Gigi. Do you all feel he made the right decision?
Yes, absolutely.
Why?
And I appreciate the fact that even before the wedding, he set her down during lunch and was just like, you know what, this whole time I've been trying to go off of your pace. You know, I have put myself to the side and became very small to accommodate your feelings and how you feel and who you are. And I'm not doing that anymore. Yep. And that is so important. That is so important for men, period, to be able to speak up and to say that to women, because sometimes people can have assertive personalities, aggressive personalities, or just be crazy.
Like crazy. It's a difference. There's a difference.
But, you know, I was glad for that. And I think that, to me, maturity would have clicked to her to say, you know what, the wedding might not be where it needs to be because of him saying this. Like, I know I would have taken it that way. Right. Now, granted, I'm a little older than Gigi. Yeah. But I think someone emotionally mature and just mature would have caught on to that and been like, all right, we might need to take a step back.
Right.
So this was like, what, a day or two before the wedding?
Before the wedding. So, to me, I feel like he made a great decision. Yeah. And she should be proud of the fact that he made that decision, because he's not just looking at it as, let me just go ahead and marry you when I know that this is not going to work. Like, he wants it to work. He never said, I don't want to be with you.
Yeah.
He just said, I don't think that it's smart for us to do it right now. Let's grow. And even her family said, you all need more time. Yeah. Give it time. Yeah. If you want to be with somebody, then you want to be with somebody. That doesn't mean you have to rush out and get married. But you have people that just rush out and get married because they feel like, hell, if we don't get married today, it's going to be the end of the world. Yeah. Like, no, if you want to be with somebody, even if it's a year from now, you're still going to be dedicated to making sure that it works so that you get to that point.
And if you're going to be with them, you have forever to be with them anyway. So, absolutely. You know, not to say necessarily like, what's the rush, but if you need more time, take that time to build and grow so that your chances of the relationship being successful are there versus not being there. So, what if you find that, you know, in a situation like Gigi and Damien, he definitely continuously communicated to Gigi what he wanted, what he needed. She was very just non-compliant with what this man was asking her. So, if you find that your significant other, you know, immediately fixes the issues you communicated, at what point do you feel it's safe to trust what you see? And I think this is a really great question, because I think that a lot of times, say in the beginning, partners can be very compliant. You can ask them to do anything. I need you to climb on top of the house, go to the moon, go around here, do this. And they are very quick to do it. You know, it's not a whole lot of pushback in the beginning most times. Maybe on some things. But down the road is when you start to see, like the joke Kevin Hart has, you know, when you first buy the juice, you know, baby, you want some juice? Yeah, you can have my juice. It's all cute. And then, you know, a year down the road, you ask for
buy
juice.
Your own damn juice.
Bitch, didn't I ask you if you want some juice? Right. You know, so you can go completely left. So, what point do you begin to trust what it is that you see?
Not after the one time they did corrective behavior. Because, I mean, you have to think about it, and not to like put...
Not corrective.
I mean, but not to say that a man or a woman is a child when you look at it that way. But, you know, when you tell a kid, hey... or they got put on punishment because they, you know, took something outside they weren't supposed to. Right. So they realized, oh, snap. If I do that, I can't go outside. So they do it one time and they're supposed to be, oh my God, you did great. And they get to be trusted with that for the rest of their life. It doesn't happen. Right. Everybody is going to correct it initially because of the repercussions that they know came the first time.
Kind of like most of the first time.
But we all do that, men, women, or indifferent. But it's like you have to see that it's an actual habit. Like they're actually thinking and making sure that they're intentionally not, or they are doing whatever it is that's an issue within a relationship. Okay. Because otherwise they're going to always, everything that's an issue, they're going to be like, okay, I'll do it next time. And they'll do it next time. But then that's it. That's where it stays. Yeah. And that was the point that he was reaching back to with her, is that you got it right on the wedding day. That is it. You know, and,
like the day before.
And that's why, you know, the decision was sound, because he was like, I need you to be consistent. You know, and people need to be consistent. And I've been talking to you
over and over about this, and now that you see, once he kind of put his foot down, like, if you don't get it together, I'm going to leave.
Yes. And people, and that's where people are compliant. Like, they'll see, like,
ultimatum. I shouldn't have to ultimatum.
Oh, break shit. To leave. Like, you really about to leave. And then if they see, okay, I did it right, and you still here, cool. So we can go back to how it was before. Yeah. And so you have to see consistency. Like, it has to be consistent. Like, I'm not a full believer in that, they made it one change and we good.
Say 21 days to build a habit. I think it's 21 actions. for me to believe you really gonna do what the hell I'm telling you to do.
Right.
And I think as you get older and more mature, you really can see people's true colors. You kind of tell, if something is genuinely a character issue, or if this is just something that you grew up kind of doing differently. So I gotta kind of show you how I like it, or what works for us. Not necessarily just how I like it, but we're both learning about one another. So I think that's very important. You gotta see, is this a character or integrity issue? Like, is this embedded in who the fuck this person is, and it's not going anywhere because their great grandmother taught them this, and they want to do what Fannie Mae said, or is this something that we can work on this? This is So I agree. It's all about the consistency and the will and the willingness to be up front and work on it. Where if they do, it's almost like if you slip, I don't even have to bring it to your attention. It's like you already telling me, like, I know I missed it. I'm still working. I know what you told me. I'm still working on it.
Right.
I always say it's about, in relationships especially, it's about making a conscious effort. Because a lot of times, in relationships, I've been in situations where I told a person I'm ashamed. Somebody think about that shit right after I said it. But in situations where I thought about it, I was like going through the motions, like, okay, so today, this is what I gotta do differently. Or when I go do this, I'm thinking about it every single day, but I ain't thinking about that shit. It ain't gonna change. So, what would you say? Do you think what gives you the ability to trust once somebody does something that you communicate?
When it gets old.
Okay. How old?
I mean, I think that's just based off of just time and just kind of being like, and what it really is. But when it's no longer on the front of the radar and it's other things that's going on, but you still put a conscious effort into making sure that you are doing what you said that you would do.
Like if you bring my coffee every morning, pay attention 6 months from now.
And like you said, it's become a habit and it's old. It's not something that I have to remind you. It's not something that's consciously on your mind. Yeah. It's in the back of your mind, but you're still doing it. To me, that's when I know.
Because you've embedded it in the fabric of what you do.
Yes, it's your everyday routine. Yeah. And not to say that you got to follow a routine, but whatever it may be, it's just a part of your everyday whatever. Yeah. So to me, when it gets old, that's when it's just like, okay, I can trust you because now this is second nature. Yeah.
Now I have a question. Are there some things that, so say this person that you're in a relationship with isn't doing. So you brought it to their attention, hey, I don't like this right here is an issue for me because, or I would love for you to do this because. Okay. And that person just can't get it. And not to say they're intentionally not getting it, but it's just not that person to be able to do that for you. So, okay, example.
I got an example.
What's your example?
I'm about to say, you ain't even got to give an example for that.
Let me tell you something. When people talk, like people say I'm dating somebody, I tell them all the time, I can remember a lot of things. I consider myself an intelligent person. But when I'm having a conversation, I tell people, if you talk longer than about 7 minutes, I'm like, I'm gonna forget what you just said. And then like, or I forget what I say. Like I'll say a whole conversation and I'll come back. I'm like, I ain't say that shit. And they like, Shayna,
this is true.
This is exactly what you just said to me.
This is true.
And it's like Men in Black. Like I don't remember that shit. So I promise you. So I tell people, like, I struggle to remember what I tell partners, like, I'm a struggle to remember what you say. Ain't nothing personal. Just say it again.
But that's just something that you just...
I can't get that shit
You can't get it.
So, look, I be writing shit down. That's why I use notes in my phone. Like, hold on, what you saying? Having a conversation.
But I think that's the important part of it because I think people need to know it's not intentional.
Right. Yeah.
When I know something is not intentional, then I can be a little bit more flexible
it's not as offensive
about it. Not to say that if it's something that's just like, okay, this is kind of fucked up, then we're gonna have to work on it. But I'm willing to work on it with you to help you get to where you need to be. But yes, I think it's just about communicating. Like, hey, I have an issue with this. It's not because I'm trying to do it. It's just how I am. For me, how you can't remember anything. If you start talking for too long and you don't get to the point, I'm gonna cut you off and ask you what the point is.
Ooh. So I got that habit. I'm trying to be so patient. I'll be sitting there like, what's the question?
What is the question?
What's the question?
What are you trying to say? Or I'll just cut to it and tell you what you're trying to tell me.
Like, so what you're trying to say is
so what you want to say is you don't want me to go. That's what you're trying to say. Yeah. So I'll tell people like, hey, I'm a straight shooter. So, just be like, hey, I want to talk to you about something and it's going to be a little detail, and I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I'm a good listener.
Let
but
me
if
get
you
my
get
phone
to
so I
talking in
take
circles
notes.
and shit,
right?
Then I'm be like, ooh, okay. So what you trying to say? Because I mean, it's been 30 minutes.
Right.
So
and I stopped listening.
And I'm
trying to tell you now.
And I don't even know what.
So one of the things that's
happening.
a peeve for me, and my boyfriend will attest to this because I say it to him all the time, and yet no change. So I said I hate last minute things. He's a person that doesn't, when it depends on, if it's not very important, he's not going to think past a certain time period with it.
Living on the edge.
Yes. Okay. Certain things in his life, he just lives on the edge with it. And I know that's him. Okay, fine. But when you tell me something and I'm like, okay, so when is it? Today. No, sir, that does not work for me. Nice. And I said, you have to tell me stuff in advance.
On my own.
Like, even if I'm late.
By himself.
I need
I
need you to tell me in advance. Exactly. And I'm like, dude, you can't do this. I just can't.
No.
I can't do it.
No.
And so, like today was an instance where he actually made a conscious effort to say, I know you said a million times. Mind you, it's been almost 2 years. I know you said you don't like stuff being told to you like last minute or after the fact. So I'm telling you today. Mind you, tomorrow is when the said date is. But okay, we're making progress. But I another
one day, no.
Right. And I'm also a big person. Like, so say if I'm going out of town or you're traveling, I'm like, okay, call me when you leave or call me when you get there. If you're on the road.
Don't never
get there in the midst of living life, family, kicking it, whatever the case may be. And it's not to offend me. He just gets there and is there. But me, I'm thinking, I mean, nigga, did you die? Like, the fuck?
Right. That's why I try to text like when I'm almost in the city. Like, I made it. Cause,
and then that's it, you know, because you'll forget. But he doesn't do it on purpose. That's just, that's his routine when he gets home. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to let you live.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take it personal, but you know, so that's why I'm like, some things is like, it's not a big deal, but other things it's like, I need you to work on
You have
that.
to fight your battles. And I think some things are a battle that you don't want to fight any battle forever.
No.
But I think everybody probably has like maybe one thing. It's like, it's going to be a point of contingency that it's just going to be there. And that's probably like that 5% of marriage they talk about. Like, say if 95% is great, it's that 5% of the shit that's like, you just gotta deal with.
Yep.
And it's a strong 5%.
A strong 5.
Good 5.
It's sitting strong.
I gotta be standing over your bed like Chucky.
Stab.
And we will be right back to talk about America's favorite couple, Lauren and Cameron. We are now introducing a new segment to the podcast. This is called Living Single. We want you guys to send in any of your relationship questions, if you need advice, or if you just want to give feedback on the show on a topic that we've discussed. Feel free to DM them on Instagram to Shanna Montana, or you can inbox me on Facebook, Living Single, and we'll definitely be touching on these topics on each episode going forward. All right, so we are back to talk about, as we said, America's favorite couple from Love is Blind. And this couple would be Lauren and Cameron. And I would say they're the favorite couple because, one, they were the couple with the most sense. They were.
Well, true.
Yeah, they seem like the most well-rounded couple. They seem the most normal, you know. But what was unconventional is that they are an interracial couple. Lauren is a black woman. Cameron is a white man. But Cameron has a real sensual voice. So, you know, I think he made everybody fall for him just listening to him. But I think that one thing that stood out, like Lauren was a black woman who had just was very independent and had not ever introduced a man to her family. So Cameron was the first man that she introduced to her family. You know, a black father, going to be strong, going to have thoughts and opinions. And that was like a scary scene for us all. We didn't know how it was going to go. But, you know, Cameron did what he was supposed to do and won him over. But they did end up walking down the aisle to say, I do. So we're going to start out and we talk about Lauren and Cameron. Do you think that you can have an immediate emotional connection and still be into the person if they are not attractive? Meaning that, you know, you're connected to them, but they're not the nicest looking. Let me tell you this. It was a guy we had in high school that was not the nicest looking. And I didn't have an emotional connection to him, but let me tell you something. He had a really great personality, and this was back when Curve Cologne was popping. He had on Curve every day. Ooh. So we all wanted to go and hug him every day. Oh, he smelled so good every day. Ain't a little high school hormones jumping in. Right. So you like, oh, he smelled so good, and he was fun. He just wasn't the cutest guy. Mm-hmm. So that takes out the emotional part, because I never had nothing with him. It was just like we all thought the same thing about him. So I'm gonna see, so can you have an emotional connection if they're not that attractive? I think in this instance you can if you haven't seen them.
True.
But if you, I guess the question is, if you see them, can you have it?
In this situation, how they did the pods, if I were to have that emotional connection with him and then saw him and I wasn't attracted to him, then all bets are off. And that's just me being honest. However,
why? Even though if you feel like, okay.
However, I will say that if I met someone or already knew someone that I did not find attractive, but I liked their personality and started to see different things about it, like, man, I really like this, I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that initial shock of, dang, I like this, and then you come out looking something different.
Looking like Jerome from Friday.
Right. Like, you come through with a pit walk and everything. Like, I'm not going to be able to do it.
Look at the wide
And that's just me being honest, which is why I would not put myself in a position of a Love is Blind type of episode or Married at First Sight type of situation, because I know thyself.
Yeah.
And
you don't like to be surprised.
I do not like to be surprised. Not a surprise birthday parties. No. Not a surprise man. I don't want a surprise. Like, let me know.
All surprises are off bets.
Off bets.
I don't know. I think that no, I probably couldn't have it. No, because I've tried to force myself to like people that I didn't find very attractive. And I couldn't even get past the part that I didn't physically like them. So I know I couldn't emotionally connect. Because a lot of times if you're emotionally connected, you'll stay with a person and do some things you wouldn't normally do.
Absolutely.
So my answer is going to be no, because I have attempted that. I think as you get older, you start trying all kinds of stuff.
That is correct.
You start experimenting.
You get real lenient.
Yeah, and I've got with my friends, like, give them a chance. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to try. And I'm sitting there looking at him like one eye closed, one, sideways. Like, he ain't that bad. I'm like, nah.
I call it, everybody has an attractive quality in them. Okay. At least one. Okay.
They might.
Maybe.
Because even these people we talk about that I said weren't that physically attractive, they might have had a good personality,
Well, not even the personality part. So say if you already emotionally are connected with that person and you see them, the initial shock is going to be like, damn, that's not what I thought you would look like. But it depends on if you're going to try to look for the quality that they have. So maybe like, you don't look like I normally look like. I mean, what I normally like, but you have nice teeth.
Look at you reaching.
I'm just saying,
Stretch Armstrong.
Or, or he has nice height, or he has nice eyes, or something like that. Like you
can't kiss his height. And that's my big thing.
It really depends on what are those things that you really are your, full stops. These are what I like. Doesn't have to be the full package of that person, but there are some things that we all like that just has to be.
We have our preferences,
right?
Yeah.
So in this situation, I for one don't like. I know my facial expressions, so that would not work well for me. Mm-hmm. If we're connected and then they open the door and that person stands in front of me and they're not what I thought, and I'll be like, who is
Batman
this?
coming around the corner.
Right.
My face going like,
he could be walking with all the crowd with the roses and you just like, ooh, shit. Slow walk.
Slow moonwalk.
No, right. I'm going to stand right here. I'm going to stand
backwards
here. I'm going to just stay right here. That's me. I just don't like that kind of a surprise, because at that point, I've built this whole, like, some sort of something.
Yeah.
And I just don't like the
shock.
I don't want to give you the impression of, damn, I mean, that how you feel? Like, that's not how I feel.
So you're saying you could deal with somebody, no,
not at this point.
No.
And I wouldn't even ask, because I know some people be like, well, you can try to just ask them what they look like, but you got people that think they look like a certain type of person.
Or they think they look
because
good.
Again, it's your view. Like, we all may see the same person, but all of us may not view them the exact same way.
That is correct.
So in my view, that's not what I would want.
Right.
And that's where we're gonna stay. You know,
and that's that on that. So, do you all think that the success of Lauren and Cameron was enhanced because they are both attractive people?
Yes.
Yeah. I think it definitely helped.
Mm-hmm.
I think if either one of them would have walked around a corner looking like a booger bear,
Lauren would have been like, I'm not going to be able to do it.
Yes,
she'd be real cute about it. Like, oh, I like his personality. And I know I mentioned that part about Shrek, but now that Shrek is here.
Yeah.
Right. She did say that. She's like, no, well, not Shrek.
Yeah. That's how it would have went. So, how do y'all feel about interracial dating overall? For people that don't know, and I think I told one of my friends this recently, and I feel like it was confessional. I've dated a white man before.
Okay.
I would date outside of my race.
So would I.
I hope I don't lose any listeners behind that. But I would date a white man. I'm not opposed. I definitely would. Cameron is absolutely my type. I would have been in Lauren's chat. I've been on that show and been in Lauren's shoes. I would have been Lauren right now.
Absolutely. Listen, completely like Lauren. Like,
Yeah,
look at our house. First pull up.
Yeah,
our house.
I don't. Yeah, so interracial dating, I don't knock it. I mean, I have actually friends, family who are people that I know that are not a fan of it. But when I think about like black, white, whatever the case may be, love has no color to me, so I don't mind it. But I'm open to it. Interracial dating.
I'm really more. I have no problem with it. And
would you do it?
Yes, and it's all dependent upon how that person is able to deal with the fact that we're two separate races.
Agreed.
Because everybody can't handle that. The idea of doing it is fine. Like, oh, I wouldn't have a problem, However, again, real life is real life, and everybody is not going to have that same view.
And I can't be your first black girl.
I'm not the test run.
No.
So if you can't handle what comes with that from your family, friends, or strangers, then that's a problem for me. We can't do this.
Yeah.
So I don't need it to be a thing too. That's the basis of our relationship. That we're two different races.
Yeah.
And to add to that, to not be able to understand the struggle that I may face as a black woman. Like you said, you don't want it to be the focus of your conversation. But if I come home and tell you about work and how I had to work, 5 times harder than Sarah over here, then I don't want you to be like, well, how about you? Like, no, this is reality.
No,
this is just what I
absolutely.
face. And I don't necessarily, I'm not asking for your advice. I just want you to have some compassion.
And
listen. Just listen to what I'm going through, because I know you can't fix it, and I know you don't necessarily truly understand it, but you just showing me that compassion and listening is sometimes all we need.
Yeah. That's when you have to get to know whether it's interracial or not, but especially if it's interracial, you have to get to know that person. You have to get to know one another. You have to make sure that they understand what it is that you're looking for and that they know how to show up for you. Because it's not that I'm looking for a pity party or I'm looking for you to all of a sudden join the Black Panthers.
Right.
But I am looking for that compassion, that empathy, that understanding, and the willingness to learn, because something that, not that I always agree with everything that she says, but Amanda Seales does talk at times about, it's not our duty to go out and become the teachers of white America about the oppression that we've been through. The same way that they can go and research and learn about anything else. If you really are interested in what we've gone through and really helping to push the cause forward, Google it, look it up yourself, the same way you do everything else. And I think it's absolutely necessary if you have a partner of another race that you both are willing to do that.
Yeah, and I love the fact that Cameron said to Lauren, he was just like, I understand that if we were to have children, that they would be seen as black.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you.
I'm glad you understand
that's exactly what that is.
Right. No matter how light this baby is, the fact that it has a black mother is going to be a black child.
Because guess what? When we both walk in the room, they're going to look at me in my black age.
Right.
And I think that it goes to the point that, like you said, they're the favorite couple, or the way how that works for them, because at the end of the day, it's how genuine they are with each other, how they feel.
And he's a genuine man. Because
and
to say something like that, you have to be.
And he loves her. He keeps saying, I am going to take care of you. Do you know that's every woman? Fuck it, I do. Fucking will you marry me? I'm going to take care of you. And that's not necessarily in the means of monetary, because financial. Because most people you just want somebody to take care of you. No, I've been taking care of myself for a long time.
Mentally, physically, spiritually.
In every single way.
Take care
of my soul.
Yes. And he was preparing, like this house, this big ass house, he's preparing for his wife. He was putting all emotions in play so that we could just effortlessly start
Just
blending
move you
ourselves
right on in
together.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
Bring that red couch. You know, you move right into it. So I think that was so amazing. And he just means it. And he loves her. He loves her dirty bath water. I mean, he just loves Lauren.
So tell us, how do you feel about saying I love you first?
Not happening. And maybe I would have
without
to
batting eyelash.
Right.
Yeah, not happening. And maybe I would have to be. And the thing about it that I've learned in these years of living is the stuff that you say will not happen usually is the stuff that you find yourself doing.
And while you doing it, you like, I said I
wasn't gonna do this.
Right.
So I'm hoping that I won't get to that moment where I'll be thinking about this podcast. Like, I said I wasn't gonna tell this nigga.
It's on the record.
Right.
It's on the record.
So, but no, I don't know. I'll say right now in how I feel and where I am, I don't see myself saying I love you first because I think it's women, and not all women, but I think it's women, you just want to know that the guy is there because usually once we're emotionally invested, we're pretty much there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more so the man that's kind of like, oh, let me figure it out. Is this really where I want to be? Is this what I want?
Yeah.
That you just want them to give you that validation.
Yeah.
To say, hey,
Yeah,
I love
it's
you.
validation.
It's validation. Even if you don't need to be validated as a person, I need you to validate where you are with me.
Yeah.
So that's where I feel as to why I wouldn't say I love you first, because I need to know that. So, fingers crossed. Is this wood?
Yeah, that's wood. Not
That I didn't like.
Hopefully, I'll put myself in a situation where I'm like, y'all, so how about I told him I love him?
Told us
Right.
And I was confident, looking dead in the eye.
Didn't blink or nothing.
Nothing.
I don't know. I mean, in my relationships, I've never said I love you first. Put it that way. And I think just based on my experience of relationships and trying to be open and vulnerable, I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
So I'm like you. I don't foresee myself saying it first. I think nah, I ain't saying it first.
Point blank period. I ain't saying.
Period. So as childish as it may be, people call it what you want, petty.
For me, it's a protective measure.
Yeah, I'm scared.
I think it's protection for me because I may feel it. Now I know when I feel it.
I can feel it.
Oh yeah,
But-
I can love you in my mind first.
And I ain't saying
But
shit.
the moment that you open your mouth and say it, it's like one, vulnerability, and two, you put that shit out there in the atmosphere. It's like you can't take that back.
And what if they don't say it back, then I gotta kill you.
Exactly. And again,
he might run
protective.
away.
Yeah.
And so, right, you might
might
scare
run
him
away.
away.
This
something
bitch done went
that.
too far.
And so it's like I'm like trying to protect myself by
I
let me
wasn't
not
ready.
say it. Let me
Right.
just let him ease that out there. And then I'll be like, oh, okay. And I still may not say it right.
I remember not the last time, but one time somebody told me they loved me, and I just said thank you.
I did
I
too.
looked him right in
I've
his
been
eye.
there too.
That nigga ain't love me. He wanted a place to stay.
That's it.
Yeah. Want to
We
put
need
PlayStation
the
in.
couch. Plug his PlayStation in, put his feet up.
He needed some Wi-Fi. So
No, but the last time this happened, I didn't say it first. I was very shocked at that though.
Yeah.
Because I just knew I would be me. But no, I held
and
strong.
I try to think of those moments, like if somebody says it's like I ain't said it in so long. I'm like,
Man, what you be like? I love you. Let me Google.
Are you talking? Look, I know. Webster Dictionary. I'm like, you talking to me?
You love,
Nigga, it's me and you in the. Oh, I thought somebody's behind
you love what?
me.
What's my name? Just want to confirm.
Just wanna. Can you say I love Shayna?
Not
Wood?
love
Right.
you. I need you to put the I. Yeah, the I on front.
Have to be sure. So yeah, the consensus is nah. We ain't saying it first. We ain't paying the fine. We ain't paying the fine. So moving on to Barnett and Amber.
Jesus. Crazy.
The
ass.
most
Train wreck.
crazy eyes, most annoying laugh ever. She laughed so obnoxiously. And yes, a train wreck because Barnett was presented absolutely as a fuckboy on the show. He was there to date. He dated multiple girls, which is his personality. It was very much so. It was fun and goofy, but it was like fuckboy, no, don't take me seriously. But when he left the pods and went home, he had a very like serious like life. Like he was taking care of business. Opposed
Very
to
responsible.
very responsible.
Very responsible.
Opposed to his now wife, who we found that says she doesn't live to work. She doesn't work to live. She says she doesn't live to work. She works to live. Meaning that she just kind of works when she needs to. She's fine with sleeping on people's couches. She's fine with having debt. She's fine with having a husband to take care of her. That's what she was looking for, if you ask me. So they were the second couple that actually got married. I would love to see it because this show happened in reality in 2018. So I would love to see like 2021 if they are still together. But that said, question: would you still be interested if you notice that the other girls, in regards to the show, are repeating the same things or in real life, repeating the same things that a guy's saying to them? Meaning like you like a guy, somebody else likes a guy. They're coming back like, yeah, he said that if I was the only woman left in the pods, he would marry me. And then another girl's like, he told me the same thing. How do you...
Or if we were to get married, like there's potential and stuff.
Yeah, like how do you feel about that?
I know for me, I would immediately put him in the fuckboy basket.
Bucket.
And be done with it. I think I would still ask because I think that's just a curiosity. Like, hey.
Did you tell someone?
So I talked to Tasha and Laquita, and she said the same stuff you said to me. So are you just trying to play us? Are you just, is this fun for you? Is this entertainment? Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
But even after the response or whatnot, and even if he's like, well, I'm still dating, you can date without playing with people's emotions and giving them hope that there's going to be more than what it really is. Like, unless you're for real sure, I don't know any man that is serious that's going to just be throwing marriage out there. Yeah. Like, they're not going to do that. They don't want you to get the wrong impression.
Like, even when he tried to word it, like, I maybe I didn't word it the right way when I was just trying to get a gauge how she felt. There was so many other things you could have said.
You could have said something else that had zero to do with that part.
There was so many other things you could have said.
So many different things.
Because, like, I would never want somebody to just keep repeating the same thing to me as they did other people, because we're all three different people. So it's no way you could feel this exact way, want to say this exact thing to three totally different personalities, because all three of those women were different. And so to me, it's like you just have this script that you're going off of, and you're not putting effort into what you're trying to get with these people. You're not looking for a relationship, because if you were, you would be speaking to them according to what you are connecting on with that person. Right. So no, we have zero to talk about. So you just ran out of words? So we all just gonna get the same one? Is that what we're at?
Down. That tells you, and that leads us right into like, what is it that attracts women to the Barnetts of the world, like the fuck boys of the world? Because he was the fuck boy of the pod.
Yeah, I think that one thing that I think all women love is a man that can make them laugh.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because part of the laughter brings comfortability.
Yeah.
And we love to feel comfortable around someone. We love to feel less judged, because when somebody kind of has that personality, they're usually not really judgmental people. They just kind of go with the flow type of guys. And I think that's what Barnett kind of gives. It gives you that, he makes me laugh. He makes me feel good. He says all the right things.
Likes to play around.
Yeah, you know, it's fun. It's so fun. And women love... Most people, I won't say all women, but women love a fun time.
Yeah. And
that's what Barnett was to a lot of the women in there, unless you were black, because the black girls that beat Diamond was like, you don't know me well enough to ask if I'm a stripper just based off of my name.
Don't
like,
play with me.
You're going to have to find another joke, but that ain't it.
Yeah.
But
that shit ain't funny to us.
At all, especially if you don't know me.
Yeah.
But, I just think that, it's something about that carefree type of personality that pulls a lot of people in.
Fun. I think fun pulls people, even if they want something serious, fun does.
But I think that where you kind of say, okay, this might be a little bit different, is I want to see your fun side, but show me your serious side. Yeah. And Barnett, and I think at a certain point, he even said it, like, I'm afraid to really expose my serious side, so I stay being funny. And to me, that's a lack of communication. And I'm not. And even now, it still looks like he has
that way. And I think that's why they've had arguments and things of that nature. Because even if you're fun, you have a fuck boy side, whatever. I think we all can be fun. But I think if I'm not able to, at some point, have serious, more in-depth conversations with you to see another side of your personality, then I'm not going to give you that right energy. Mm-hmm. So I think that people tend to initially... the fun can pull people in, because I've messed around with guys that were fun, and they were the worst niggas on earth.
Ever.
And so it was like within 3 months, I saw it was the worst nigga, but unfortunately I was young and dumb, and I stayed in it. Mm-hmm. So I think that you have to be able to say, okay, this person is fun, because I think people may look at me as fun, and I've encountered that where people met me and just looked at my personality on social media, and then once they saw I was more in depth, like, it's more to you, and some liked it, some didn't, which was fine by me. Right. But I think that when you are dealing with the Barnetts, you have to see, okay, this is fun, but if I am looking to get married, essentially, like on the show, What else you got? You got to give me something more.
Absolutely. Because our relationship is not going to sustain on just you and your fun.
Yeah. And I'm going to be mindful, even though this is a TV show and we're in the pods and we're dating, based on just what the camera showed, it seemed like Barnett was like the only guy that was like juggling multiple women. You know? Yeah. So it's like, I'm going to pay attention to that. I know we're dating, we're trying to figure it out, but if everybody else in here is dealing with one guy and they're trying to get to know that guy after a couple of dates, but it's like, Barnett, you're still dealing with 3 girls, that's
to the bitter end. To the very end.
We're talking about we're not going to talk to each other about it. And I get it. We're all supposed to be dating. But at that point, I don't know if I'm about to put my egg in this basket.
And I can't even come back and talk about you because you get serious with somebody else. And then I end up looking dumb because you decided to walk out the door with her.
Because I'm just an option at this point.
Because what he did at the end, that's what I did not like. Because they only had 10 days in the pods. And you wait until the last day. And you got rid of Jessica's goofy ass, but you still have 2 women on the very last day, and you decided to propose.
Want to be pick me.
Right. On that last day, to me, it's like you still don't know what you want at that point, because you are investing more into someone you're really trying to get to the point of saying you want to, marry them, at a certain point within this time frame. But on the last day, you're still not there. To where it's just me and you.
Fuck boy behavior.
Absolutely. And that's...
And I wouldn't feel confident as a woman watching that. I mean, granted, a lot of people, which kills me, they be like, well, I got the ring. That don't mean shit. That don't mean shit. Because to me, I feel like I still wasn't enough for you to be like, okay, I can cancel out LC.
And it just be me and you.
And it just be me and you, and let us really focus in so you can focus in on me. Yep. And I have all of these other options to say, okay, this is what it is. I mean, I appreciate you having the options and picking me, but the way that he handled it was all wrong.
So at what point would you discuss that with him?
In the pod, when I know that we not able to talk to each other and we can't even be cool as women because we don't want to be offended. Right. Yeah. Like, nah, buddy.
I mean, you got to be upfront with it at that point. So what we doing?
Yeah.
What is this?
What's happening?
Because it's like, I don't want to be in a position where you're pulling me into something that may or may not go somewhere, but I don't want to give you the impression that this is cool. Yeah. So what are we doing?
Or that I'm sitting around waiting for you.
Absolutely.
We're not in no top 3.
And that's
we got a short period of time. Granted, we're dating, but since it's a short period of time, top 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
And it don't need to be all in one day.
Yeah.
Right.
We have to move fast.
That down.
Gotta move much
and
fast.
So it's like sometimes, and I know we as women some people are hesitant to do it because you don't want to kill your opportunities. However, sometimes you have to make people be upfront and make those decisions.
And you have to make people get uncomfortable.
Yeah, because you don't have to be caught up in their I don't know phase for fucking forever. Like it's not fair to you to be caught up in that. Oh well, he's just trying to figure it out. Bitch, you ain't gonna figure it out on me.
You can go
Desperate.
to hell.
I'm not an experiment.
You can go to hell.
I am not the experiment.
What you can do is you can go to hell. Now, when it comes to Amber is the person that Barnett did end up marrying, and we noticed that immediately once they got out of the pods back to reality, Amber dropped a lot of bombs on Barnett in regards to her life.
Yeah.
Because it was a red flag for me when it said that everybody's profession, they kept it very general, like finance, engineer, scientist. Hers said ex-tank mechanic. I'm like, an army tank? Like, bitch, what kind of mechanic were you? So that was X. So that meant X. You ain't got no job.
Like, y'all broke up? You want to
tank broke up? Like, what is it? So, in regards to them, did we miss the lack of communication on Amber's end regarding wanting to be a housewife? Or, was Barnett aware of it, or was he blindsided? Like, Amber's lifestyle choices. Was he aware of that?
I've watched the season a few times, and I don't recall Amber mentioning it. And granted, it's still a lot of camera footage that we didn't see.
Right.
But I still also feel like when she did reveal what her lifestyle was, Barnett was shell-shocked.
He sure
He
was.
was sitting there and you could tell there was concern of being like, man, I'm going to be, the head of this household for real.
Like
immediately,
full dependency,
like right now. And she's like, they didn't even go to tour her house because I sleep on my friend's couch and I don't have any. I have $20,000 of student debt, which we all have student debt, so ain't nobody judging you on that end,
right? Not at all.
But she's like, and I got a makeup card that's maxed out because makeup is expensive. But where you going?
Right, and it's something, let me tell you, I went back because I watched it as well too. Something she said on one of the episodes, she was like, we went to Barnett's house, and I'm just looking forward to the fact of us going to start a new life with his house. I'm looking at it, she basically said this. She said this is going to be our house now.
Yeah,
like she jumped in right. And mind you, okay, as a wife, you may move into a husband's house, but it was clear the way that she said it. Like, I'm going to just interject myself into his life because I don't have anything to offer.
Yeah,
absolutely, and not only that, but she was just like, because I want to be a stay-at-home mom, and it's just like, I don't know if I can trust you to have and bear my children if you can't take care of yourself.
And you don't live to work. You don't work still, you live to work. And that means to me that like your ability to be responsible is limited. I can't trust you being responsible enough with kids in the household and those things. You've never done
partner.
It. Yeah.
Marriage is a partnership. Yeah. And if something happens and I break my leg tomorrow, I can't trust that you're going to go out there and make shit happen because you won't even make it happen for yourself, which what I said about earlier. Like, if somebody doesn't care to have this stuff for themselves, they're not going to care to maintain it with you. And that was my biggest thing with Amber, where I was just like, well, did you tell him this stuff? Because his concern looks like it, but what bothers me with Barnett is he didn't express that concern at the time. What we saw, he just
looked like he just sat there and took it, just looking crazy.
Like, whoa, what the fuck?
That also is a reflection of what they discussed when they were on these dates.
Yeah.
Because for him to be completely surprised by this woman outside after he done said, I want you to marry me, that means what were y'all talking about?
Yeah.
What kind of real questions, real conversations were you had? Because if you're trying to go from 0 to engaged in 10 days in a pod, bitch, I need to know what you do for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you do?
And explicitly clear on that.
What you do for a living, where your head is being laid at night, and are you making it? Like, are you making it?
It was clear she wasn't.
Like, hanging on by a thread. But, like, that's a question in regular conversation. So what do you do?
But even with that, he still didn't say anything when she started talking about the wedding alterations and how she spoke to her mom and she didn't want to reach out to them for any money. So she was like, we're going to have to find out a way. Yeah. We ain't doing shit because you ain't got a job.
You don't have a job.
And even then, he was like, I was wondering what Amber did all day, and I noticed that I scrolled through Netflix and she binge watched some stuff. And it's like, you're sitting up there okay with that shit. Yeah. I would be like, well, we can't do anything, Amber, if you don't go out and get a job.
Yeah. Right. Because she fully said to him, like, he asked her, so what'd you do today? And she said, well, sat around, woke up, had drinks, watched some TV type situation. Ma'am, that's not progressive at all.
Just about to roll in the back of my head. I can't understand. Like, so you just, all day you ain't do nothing?
And for him, I mean, it's like, I can't feel sorry for him because you signed up for this.
Yeah.
You signed up for it.
She's telling you. So I can't be mad at the fact that at Amber, because she is telling you now.
I mean,
and you had a chance to run. And you didn't.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I feel like with Amber and Barnett, even during the reunion, she was like, we've had our things because, it started to weigh on him that he was taking care of the household. So I became a cocktail waitress. And it's just like, first and foremost, that's where I'm bothered, because if you have him and you're doing this, then go back to school or start looking into something that can bring you in some actual money.
Yeah, real income,
absolutely.
A career.
Like, so I don't think that he would have an issue if you're like, I'm about to go back to school because I'm passionate about this and I know that I can make some real money. But you went back and did a cocktail waitress. What you doing? Paying the water bill?
NES?
No, NES.
Yeah.
Cable, maybe.
She can't even pay NES.
So what do you think the chances, based on the circumstance we talked about, what are the chances you all think of this relationship lasting?
I don't see it.
I don't see it, and it's gonna be that finance part is gonna be heavy.
Yeah,
because he is. I mean, regardless of how established and how well he may or may not be doing, if something happens to him, then there is I can't depend on stuff to still stay afloat.
Yeah,
and finances. I mean, it's a true thing. Like, finances kills relationships.
Exactly. Love ain't enough.
Number one
it surely
thing.
is
Number
not.
one killer.
Love gets you in the door, but life still has to work.
And life ain't free.
No, it's not. And it's like, so if that's an issue, it's an issue. When I saw that he was, stressing out because he's carrying his load, what's going to happen if he can't do it anymore?
Exactly.
They homeless.
Absolutely are. And divorced.
And then on top of
She's
that,
homeless.
I done gave her my house so that we can move at the top into an apartment on top of the Braves Stadium.
And she's just like, it's better for our lifestyle. He's going along with it. I don't believe that for a minute.
Fun. It's like, why would I go and invest in an apartment when I have a house?
Yeah,
like she got you making bad decisions. Run, Barnett. If you listening, I don't know if you ever get to this podcast, but you need to run. Well, y'all need to have a serious conversation about real life.
She has you moving backwards with major life decisions.
Absolutely. Yeah. Don't be a puppet. Cut them strings.
Yeah, we agree. It needs to cut those strings, Barnett and Amber, before it's too late. Matt,
right.
Give the name Matt. That's his real name. It's his first name, I think. Whatever. Yeah. So the last couple, last and least, Kelly and Kenny. What happened?
Shit, I don't know. Like, I have no idea.
So they did not walk down the aisle, ladies and gentlemen. They walked down the aisle, and Kenny said, I do, and Kelly said, I don't. And when they had the bachelorette weekend, the bachelorette parties, Kelly, I do remember her talking to some of her friends, and her friends pointed out that Kelly was terrible at choosing partners. Mm-hmm. And Kelly also pointed out that she saw Kenny as like a best friend. Like he wasn't her type, quote unquote.
So she friend-zoned him.
Yeah, she friend-zoned him.
Because she didn't want to fuck on sight.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what she said. She said, in my previous relationships, I was just always so infatuated with them, and I just want to feel that same infatuation with him.
And when she said that, I kept thinking, that same infatuation got you nowhere.
Absolutely. That's why you're here on this show.
Yeah.
And it's like she placed so much on that one particular area that you totally were missing everything else that you were getting from this man. And your whole family liked him. Your sister even told
everybody tried to talk her off the ledge.
Girl, don't miss out on this opportunity is what her sister told her.
Yeah.
Kenny is a gem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I liked him.
He was the only one when things didn't go well at the wedding and they decided not to continue to address the crowd with such grace.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think regular people would know to just be like, let me turn around and address the crowd. He didn't tuck his tail. He went ahead, he addressed it like, hey, sometimes, guys, this stuff don't work out. It's an experiment, and, here we are. And, of course, the cameraman were being, like, assholes in the end, and, he just politely turned his chair after letting them know, like, I'm not really feeling this right now. Yeah. And then even on the reunion, came back and was still such a gentleman.
So
and it's
gracious
just like,
to her.
Yes, and it was just like, Kenny, listen, sir, all the women are ready. All the women are ready.
My number is
right. All the women are ready because if it don't work out with who you with right now, you gonna have a line.
Yeah.
Because when I say everybody, he wasn't a bad looking guy.
Not at all.
And quite frankly, the way I see about it, a lot of people are praising Cameron, but I think Kenny can stand right next to Cameron.
He could.
Yeah. He can stand right next. Cameron's not the only one.
Yeah, Cameron was attractive, but Kenny was attractive too.
Absolutely.
And Kenny also like Cameron, he had a very sweet spirit. He was very kind. Mm-hmm. I could tell just with the background, even both of their families, their backgrounds, how they came together. Mm-hmm. I think would have been a good match.
Yeah, that's the part that I think messed everybody up because Kelly and Kenny's families meshed so well. It was just like this was written in the stars for them to come together because their families got it, and it was just like a blended family immediately. Everybody just clicked. And then for you to go and be like, oh, I'm the worst person with men and da-da-da-da-da. Like, ain't nobody trying to hear all that going on.
And you basically messed up an opportunity. And you could tell in the reunion how she immediately was feeling that regret all over again. Because you messed up when you got to see it play back.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you said no because, again, you were not, like, climbing all over this man. That's it.
Which is fine because he was not, I'm sure, at any point trying to pressure you.
Right,
like,
and he even said that. He said, I know where I stand. He's like, however, he had the conversation. Yeah. I'm just wondering why we have not got to that level yet. And he did it respectfully. Yeah. It wasn't to say, hey, we need to fuck us over. But, he's
a man. He got needs.
Right, we all do.
And we say we like each other.
And Beyonce's, why are you not test driving this car? Because listen, Kenny, Cameron, anybody, if it ain't where it need to be, you're a good person, but
we got to move some things around.
We're going to do something. We're going to work some stuff out, see if we can maneuver some things, and if it ain't going to work out, you know what, it's been great. Because sex is important.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it dies in the marriage, but I also think that sometimes you choose.
It doesn't have to die immediately.
You don't have to die. You can choose to make things work. I mean, I think with anything, it's a everyday fight and effort put into anything that you want to work.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think that just Kelly just did not want this relationship to work.
No, and that's why she's still single today.
Yep.
That's correct. And lost her a good man.
Kenny has moved on and got
him
another
new
one.
girl.
And is happy. And so many words said, thank you for saying no. Because
thank you for being a friend.
Right.
That's it.
The person
a friend.
who I'm supposed to be with.
And you know, but what she messed up is she thought her saying no that they would still try to slow it down and work on a relationship after. You can't expect that if you led him to think that y'all were going to make it. Because he had 0 doubts. He's like, oh, I feel good about this.
I mean, I think everybody did.
I feel good.
I felt until after the bachelorette party when I heard her talking about he was like a best friend. Mm-hmm. And then the day of the wedding, like when her sister was talking to her, everybody was talking, there was on something on her face. I just was like,
she's not with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could tell. So she was the one, the message from that one is don't let a good one get away. So they're allegedly going to be casting for a season 2 of Love is Blind. And, your girl might need to go in there and apply.
So I have a question.
What's that?
So say, for instance, if you are on Love is Blind and you get to the reunion or you get to the little honeymoon, pre-honeymoons in Mexico, and you see the other cast members and you're like, damn, he fine. We was this close to I was close to
I'm going to be
saying
like
yes
Jessica,
to
bitch.
you.
Hi, Leroy.
I mean, are you sure you're happy?
Are you sure you're happy with Shanika?
Right.
I would never do that. You would have to worry about that with me.
Her. I'm telling you, the thing about me, if I was to really go on a show like that, I'm big on, the physical attraction having to be there. So even though we talk and laugh about it, if I come around the corner and you looking like James Brown,
with the curl,
then I'm gonna moonwalk my ass back around, and I'm gonna say, I'm going back to the room with the girls. I'm in charge of the girls, and I'm not gonna go along with this.
Right.
Now say I go forward, and my partner, all right, like, okay, you cool, we go, and then I come and it's Chris Brown, Trey Songz, Klay Thompson.
Yikes! Y'all ain't gonna make it off the resort.
I'm telling you, bye, nigga. The world gonna hate me. Y'all got to talk. Y'all step to my office.
Right. So how are things going?
Right. I ain't gonna play that game. Like, Shayna, why is you knocking on our door? I thought this was my room. That's all I need to go on the show, because if I go and I see, and knowing that if I'm unattached, I go and I met this guy. Because I feel like in my mind, if I was to go on a show like that and we end up saying, I love you, will you marry me, all this stuff, and I say, cool, to me, I would know it's superficial at this point. We 5 days in. So the love I really got, like, dap you up, love you, we cool. So we go out there to the beach.
I got love for you.
I got love for you on the beach the 6th day, and I see 5 other foreign niggas. I know y'all ain't really invested in this either.
That's still on the table?
Yeah. So that's how we gonna change season 2. Like they gonna throw a wild card in.
Right.
I bet they throw a wild card like after a certain day you can pick somebody else if you want to. After you've seen them.
Ooh, that would be like a good one.
I'm gonna be able to talk to the producers like,
so we gonna flip the shit up real
right.
What the fuck shit? This gonna fuck them up.
Look, it's steps me.
Yeah, look.
Right, so I know you guys are just familiar with season 1, but we have something for season 2 because we think now, is love faithful? Are you loyal?
Yeah.
All right, so now you see the people that are here. Is there anybody else that you would want to get to know more now that you see them? They'd be like, well,
They say, raise your hand.
Listen.
Pick me.
Just be like, oh my God, yeah. I'm going to talk to Diane. I'm ready.
But you have to agree. The rule will be the person has to agree. So if you feel like it's somebody you're like, so you get to pull a card, whatever, be some kind of technique, procedure you would do. But yeah, that would be my thing. Like if I came out and I saw something that looked better, I'm definitely going to approach it because I fucked the whole show up. They probably gonna just send me home.
I messed the show up opening that door and not being attracted. Like, well, it's like, why you not walking? Just like, you gotta walk forward, Courtney.
Move.
Are you sure?
Like, I don't have my glasses on. I need to go get my glasses.
I'm
I
gonna be
can't
right
see
back.
them.
Never to return.
Yeah, never to return. I've been to pack. Matter of fact, I've been to pack my bag before I go meet him. Just in case I got to run out that damn producer door. Like, she did not return back to the show. They go on the black screen. Courtney decided not to continue with the show.
Right.
You are gone with hair in the wind. You gone.
Running for my life in heels.
Yeah, gone. Going to the suite. So yeah, I definitely will be up for the call. So would you all do a show like that?
No.
You said no, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
Because I know that know thyself, and I know that is my mindset. And again, it's not just necessarily because looks are 100% everything. It's just, if it's going to be that way where I'm not attracted to you, I need to know you first. Yeah. And then be like, you know what? Because I've been around some not attractive men that have fantastic, everything else is great. And it's just like, you know what? I could date him because this, that, and the third. But to get emotionally into something and you just like, oh, and all the stuff is stirring and you like, oh, I can't, I could just imagine myself jumping on him like a spider monkey. And then he come out looking like James Brown with the press girl.
Yeah, you like, oh.
And you like, no. Wait a minute. She wasn't ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
You're going to learn today.
Trisha, I'm not ready.
Yeah, not ready. So I get it. Yeah,
I have cold feet.
It's a social experiment, but I do think out of all of us, I'll be the one that will be up for the cause because I live for the foolishness. I'm in charge of the girls.
Yeah.
So this concludes our episode on Love is Blind Season 1. If we feel it's necessary to revisit some things, we will. But hopefully they will be back with the Season 2 for sure, so we can talk about that. So if you have not watched it on Netflix, please go watch it. Leave your commentary on Instagram. You can inbox me or under a couple of posts that I'll put up. But otherwise, everybody give yourself a round of applause. Great show. Your opinions are always valued and appreciated. And we'll be right back with the Montana Minute.